September 16, 2023. It was a holiday. Saturday is a public holiday in Nepal, but that day offered no respite for Kathmandu. The capital city, in fact, woke up to a gruesome murder. The murder took place at a stone's throw from the Trivandrum International Airport, and not that far from the federal government headquarters, that is Simhadarbar, which is just barely 7.8 kilometers away from the incident site via the Pasupati Buddha Road. That is more or less the heart of this capital, the federal capital of Nepal. Police reports and media reports suggest that three members of a family, the Bhujals from Dolakha district, uh, as well as a 20-year-old youth, Navin Rai, were slain in cold blood on Friday midnight. At around Friday midnight, the murder site was the murder site is at Vidya Sawmill in Gairigaon, that is close to Tinkune, which is quite close to the Trivandrum International Airport. The victims are Kumar Bhujel, a 56-year-old man working as a security guard at that sawmill. His mother, Subhadra Bhujel, who was 76 years old, and Kumar Bhujel's wife, Ambika Bhujel, a 52-year-old lady, as well as Nabin Rai, a 20-year-old youth from Belbari in Morang district. As for the progress in the probe, the police have arrested a suspect, Dipendra Rai, a 28-year-old, in connection with that dastardly act. Further investigations are underway. As of this reporting, the motive behind the murder and the persons involved in that dastardly crime are still unclear. But Kathmandu got a rude shock at a time when the law and order situation in throughout Nepal in general and the Kathmandu Valley in particular has been at an all-time low, almost like it has worsened to say the least. At this point, it will be just quite contextual, I think, to revisit some of the murders and suicides that have taken place in Kathmandu in particular. Suicides, particularly, because I don't believe that it just does not happen on its own. There are several factors that just are behind that push an individual to take that extreme step. Those actors on the background or foreground itself, they just get scot free. They just go unpunished, and that also, I think, leads to spiraling cases of suicides. So we will just talk about a couple of murders that have taken place in the Kathmandu Valley, as well as some high-profile suicide cases, as we just uh, take a look into the crime and investigation scenario with the Kathmandu Valley in focus. December 7, 2022. Puspa Neupane, the owner of Chelmi showroom at Darbar Marg, 27-year-old lady, sets set herself on fire in front of Sudhan Sangraula's house at Dhumbarai. Neupane reportedly took that extreme step. She doused herself in petrol and set herself afire in front of Sudhan Sangraula's house. You may wonder who this Sudhan Sangraula is. This is based on reports published in several media outlets. Puspa Naupane had just Puspa Naupane and Sudhan Sangraula, per media reports, were supposed to get married that year itself. They had that engagement and all that thing, almost ready to get married. At that time, per reports, the Sangraulas had a change of plan. They decided to break off that engagement. So, because of that, step, uh, Puspa Neupane, a 27-year-old lady, just took that extreme step. She doused herself in petrol and set herself afire. That is what the media reports say. After that incident, the victim's family have sought a police probe that includes just rechecking all details and social media exchanges to check if the prospective groom was behind the abatement of the murder. That is but just one act, that is but just one incident. There are several of which I am just going to pick a select few. Another case, most probably per police primary preliminary police investigation, a murder suicide case took place in early February 2023. Kishore Bhandari, a 42-year-old pharmacist, and her 7 year and his 7-year-old daughter were found dead at their residence in Old Baneswar, Kathmandu. Police suspect that it may be a case of murder and suicide. Their preliminary proof suggests that Bhandari, a pharmacist, uh, took the life of his daughter, 7-year-old daughter, that had some physical difficulties, that had some physical condition, and then after he took his own life. Like police also recovered a suicide note from the incident site in which Bhandari has stated that He had been suffering from financial difficulties for quite some time, and the probe it seems to suggest that those difficulties pushed Bhandari into despair, and he took that ultimate step, the extreme step. Then on 4th February, 4th April 2023, uh, Neera Acharya, a shopkeeper based in Saraswati Nagar, Kapan, Kathmandu Metropolitan City 6, was murdered at around 3:30 p.m. Acharya was from Bodyguard Rural Municipality in Baglum district. In broad daylight, she was murdered. And then comes another case. In 5th of May, 9th of May, that is 19th of May 2023, Shanti Shrestha, a 36-year-old from Rameshap district, set herself on fire. She died in course of treatment at this Burns Hospital in Kirtipur. She was living in a rented accommodation at Matchegaon, Kirtipur, and that is where she immolated herself. She died in course of treatment at Kirtipur Burns Hospital. Uh, Her hubby, that is Mohan Kumar Shrestha, had paralysis. The police suspect that this condition may have driven her into that uh, extreme step. Uh, police reports, police themselves have reported that even petty disputes have led to murders. Like uh, petty disputes also have caused a spike in murder cases in the Kathmandu Valley. These are indeed difficult times, and there is this economic slowdown, and people are losing jobs, and there is despair, there is inflation. So that is these hardships, these difficult times have just driven people into despair. That is reflected perhaps in crime graphs as well. And there is this culture of impunity. Like there is this feeling that one can get away with anything. Like if they have power, if they have friends in high places. Of late, a series of scandals have just rocked this country, like the Lalita Nivas land scam, the Lalita Nivas land grab, in which a couple of go-betweens, politicians and bureaucrats managed to almost transfer 143 ropenis of government land in the name of private individuals. A couple of small fishes uh, are behind bars, whereas the high and the mighty have just gone scot-free. This kind of culture of impunity sends a very wrong mass message among the public. But the rulers of this country, it appears, are not aware of the messages they have been sending to the public. Then there came this audacious breach, security breach at the Tribhuvan International Airport, some elements, criminal elements, transnational criminal elements, almost managed to uh, get through the security system at the Tribhuvan International Airport, that is supposed to be a high security airport. They managed to just uh, push a huge gold consignment through the gates of the Tribhuvan International Airport, acting on some tip off from somewhere. The police, the law enforcement somehow managed to confiscate that gold, around which later turned out to be 60 kgs of gold. Earlier, it was estimated that the gold's weight, the illegal gold weighed around 100 kgs, but it turned out finally that the gold, which was concealed in brake shoes, it weighs just 60 point something kgs. A police team somehow managed to confiscate that uh, huge gold from Sinamangal, which is just a stone's throw from the Tribhuvan International Airport. By the way, this Gairigaon, Sinamangal, those are neighboring areas. They are just a stone's throw from each other. That is, these places are quite close. They are the nerve centers of the capital. Such dastardly acts of crime taking place under the very nose of the state indicates, it points at this law and order situation at a historic low. This culture of impunity, this mindset that you can get away with anything if you have friends in high places, if you are some influential people, that is taking root in the society, especially after a wave of unrest, a wave of decades of violence in Nepal, in particular the decade-long insurgency and the violence in the Tarai. This feeling that you can get away with anything if you are powerful enough, if you have friends in high places, that is spreading in society. These increasing crimes, this increase in dastardly acts of crime uh, point out at this growing culture of impunity. The onus, of course, is on the government to just nip this tendency in the bud so that the society is safer, so that the law and order prevails. There is this rule of law, corruption is not like promoted in every walk of life, then only Nepal will be like safer, Nepal will be better, and Nepal will be more prosperous. Otherwise, it will be become a country run by some tin pot dictator instead of an elected government. I request you I request the state organs, I request the government in particular to treat with caution in these hard times. These are the people, a section of the society at the least seems to be going mad. There have been attacks on the leaders themselves because there is this growing perception that the leadership has grown, it has become more and more corrupt, and the only way to just uh, discipline them is through extreme steps. This should not take root in the society. So too, the onus is on the political leadership as well as the bureaucracy and the parliamentarians of the country to just read this public mindset and mend their ways before it's too late. Otherwise, if they don't see the writing on the wall, if they don't read the writing on the wall, another wave of violence, another wave of unrest will grip the country, and chances are that this wave will sweep them away. So I request the state, the Nepali state, to wake up and act before it's too late. With this, we have come to the end of this edition of the program. We request you to subscribe to our channel, comment on our presentation, and press that like button. Remember, we are trying to promote citizen journalism here. Your subscription, your liking our comments, liking our presentation, your comments mean an awful lot to us. I request you to literally throw your weight behind this initiative that aims to be your true voice. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. My due apologies if I have made some like uh, unwelcome comments. If my comments have hurt any of you, including those in positions of power, but this is like the time to wake up and act. Thank you for watching. The time to act is for the public as well as those in the higher echelons of power. I request you all of us, to wake up before it's too late. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.